Joining us is the Chief Strategist of India Charts, Shravan Sen. Our colleague also here, Senior Editor, continues to stay with us. Rohit, some bit of good news for the Adani Group from Fitch Ratings, which has also added, by the way, that their ongoing monitoring will be looking closely at any major changes to the rated entities' access to financing or cost of financing on a long-term basis. But the headline being that no immediate impact on Adani entities' ratings and credit profiles. Rohit, hi. You want to take that?
Yeah. No, see, all the developments are interesting. I think from a market point of view, the main concern that markets had was really around valuations. Most of the others, really, when we discuss, with the analyst community, what we find is that nothing else that has been, put out in this report is really proven. So we are really fighting on something which has no record, but simply speculative in nature. So one thing that the correction in the stocks has done is definitely bring down valuations, which was one of the things which has always bothered investors and analysts in general. But apart from that, I think what we are looking for is stability. What it has ended up doing, though, is for a lot of people who trade on margin. What I understand is that those books or wherever people have borrowed and bought stock, all of that is being forced to unwind because of the market sell-off. Because there's always a trigger point for everybody who's holding. And moment prices fall too much, then everyone is forced to sell. And that is sort of the reason why a lot of the selling has happened in the last week. I think at some point that ends and then, things start abating. That's what we are really hoping to, find out.
Mr. Srivastava, with regards to an investigation into the allegations that have been leveled by Hindenburg Research, and they are extremely serious in nature. You're talking about brazen manipulation of stocks, then you have accounting fraud, also the fact that they're almost bordering complaints of money laundering and tax theft. Given the seriousness of these complaints, don't you think that somewhere down the line the SEBI needs to step in, or for that matter even other organizations or other investigative agencies like the SFIO perhaps needs to step in so that we have some sort of a clarity, because the opposition parties here demanding that public money is also pumped in to try and keep the Adani Group afloat?
So this issue has really gone cross-border, as you mentioned yourself, and how to deal with it can be a very big question. You have one entity which is not India-based, so really they would try to call you out to get global investigation. Now, why would a global agency be seriously interested in looking at what is happening at a domestic level? And so their interaction with SEBI is what will really make that call in terms of whether there should be a domestic investigation and whether it should be on both sides. I mean, on the one side, we can argue about whether the stock price was manipulated on the way up, and the contra side is also you can argue of whether somebody is coordinatedly tried to bring it down, because there's always a price point beyond which, like I said, margin funding good books come under pressure, and same way pledge shares come under pressure, because if you take prices too down, then everybody's going to be demanding margin, and then that has a circular effect on margin calls and more selling. So which side, it really calls for investigation on both sides of the story to get an answer, and that means many agencies coordinating together to figure out what really happened in this case.